911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency? What is your emergency?
I need help.
Can you tell me what's wrong?
I'm hiding. There's blood. So much blood.
Okay, I'm going to need you to stay calm. Do you know where you are?
No, they don't.
No, I mean, where are you?
Hiding in a cupboard. They came in and just started shooting.
Okay, that's good. Where's the cupboard?
In a classroom.
You're doing great. So you're at school. Which school?
What college? Please, come help me. I don't want to die. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. No, please, no!
Ready or Not is not ready. This is self-evident for anybody who has actually played the game for more than a couple of hours. The question that we have to answer is whether that this game is worth the $50 price tag that they are asking for. And why did the game come out in the state that it did, right at the end of fiscal year 2023? Ready or Not is a tactical shooter where you play as a SWAT commander in single player and a member of a SWAT team in multiplayer. You play on 18 different maps that are well designed for a variety of different gameplay approaches. You operate in a team of 5 operators in single and in multiplayer to accomplish objectives in the level. The primary objective is always to neutralize all suspects, and everything else that comes after that can be done at a slower pace. There's a lot of different weapons that can be customized in Ready or Not. Specifically, that there are 13 different assault rifles, 2 different less than lethal pepper ball launchers. You can have a pepper ball launcher with 25 shots or 12 shots. There are also 10 different types of SMGs. However, just about half of them are variants. So the MP5, 10mm, MP5, MP5A3. There are 4 different shotguns, plus 1 more shotgun for the supporter edition, and there's the beanbag shotgun for non-lethal use. On each weapon, you can customize the optic. However, you can't actually change if you put a 1-4 or 1-12 times optic on it. You can't actually change to the 12 or 4 times setting. It's always going to be the same zoom level. This has been a feature that has been requested for more than a few years now since Ready or Not first was being in development, and they still haven't implemented it. The muzzle you can either have muzzle brakes or suppressors, and they do 2 different things. You can run suppressors or brakes. The underbarrel is basically just your grip. You can't actually attach a grenade launcher or a 320 launcher or a stun launcher. Can't attach any of them. Your overbarrel, you either have a light or you have a laser. You cannot have both. I cannot tell you why. For gameplay purposes, it does not. It's really bad. You should be able to have both. There are modules today in real life that let you have both, but in Ready or Not, you have to choose a laser or a flashlight. So you can decide what you want from there. I don't need to tell you that this is not a lot of customization options for every single gun, because there's only 4 that you really choose. If you were expecting Tarkov or Ground Branch levels of customization, it is not here. You have tactical slots. These slots are per magazine or tactical slot or grenade. So it makes 0 sense to pick the pepper ball launcher with 12 shots over the one with 25 shots, since they both take the same magazine slot, just one gives you less ammo. Okay? This also applies to all weapons, especially shotguns, with each slot, quote unquote, giving you only 8 shots with a shotgun versus an AR mag of 30 rounds. This can also apply to pistols, right? Because the slots are weighed the exact same for everything. You could have a shotgun with only 4 rounds versus an AR mag with 30 rounds. They take up the exact same weight, which is kind of a problem with the tactical slots. It's just the nature of how they exist. You can also have a taser in your tactical slot for less than lethal approaches, or pepper spray, which is a good change from when it had to be a secondary use, so it had to be your pistol. Now it's just a slot. That's a good use of them. So, you can also now customize your SWAT operator in a variety of ways to unlock a lot of good gear. You need to get an S rank or an A rank on each different level, which means that you have to do them in a non-lethal way, which I don't need to tell you is ridiculously hard just by yourself, let alone trying to do it with AI team members that will actively switch to their lethal option unless you take it all away from them and drop all of their magazine slots. They will more than likely accidentally shoot somebody in the head with a beanbag shotgun and instantly kill them. So you're running against that if you're doing it in single player. However, there's also no real way to tell what rank you got on each mission unless you have like a photographic memory. There's no mission select screen which tells you that, oh yes, your latest rank on this mission was X. The only way you can actually go check what you got on each mission is to go into customize your operator and see if you got an S rank customization option, which are the tattoos that you unlocked for that mission. If you didn't, you probably didn't get an S rank on that mission. There are also a lot of placeholder images that are still in the game. For example, you can actually customize the way your face shield works, so basically your faceplate, but there's no preview of what it looks like. This is the same for night vision goggles. You can actually have the PVS 7s. They still also have no image. It just shows no image, which you can't actually have them. And a variety of other things are also lacking preview images, which just shows a lack of polish that this game came out in this state if there's literally no images for half the things that you are trying to customize on your operator. Gameplay. Now, looking at the gameplay of Ready or Not, there are 18 different levels/missions that you can go on. They are all the same type, barricaded suspect. No level in the game is not of the mission type, barricaded suspect. Even in the controversial level of school, it is still a barricaded suspect. The game tries to trick you into thinking it is an active shooter by having the AI scripted to shoot the wall when the mission starts. However, in reality, the AI is still in barricaded suspect mode and will not kill civilians or move around if you do nothing. This is unlike what it was in the early alpha and beta, where if you had an active shooter as the AI for the mission type, they would actively go around and kill civilians. That has been completely taken out of this game. There are only barricaded suspects. You start with mission planning. It is okay at best. You can plan out different routes on your new tactical device, basically your iPhone. However, the briefings are forgettable. They're not even as good as SWAT 4 briefings. However, some of the 911 calls are good. You've already heard probably the best one in the game. Some are just average, but usually as good as the SWAT 4 911 calls. At the start of the game, there are usually only a few suspects that a 5-man SWAT team can actually realistically take on. This scale does not stay the same. When you get to the UPS center, you will be facing an army of highly armed and trained suspects venturing on 17 suspects or more, way too many for a 5-man team to realistically clear. This continues to exaggerate the further you go down the campaign. The last levels, you're going to be going against 20-something suspects with full body armor, with full AR rifles, and with only a 5-man team to deal with them. There are no snipers. There's no assisting backup. There's nothing. Most of the missions consist of you trying to bring order to chaos, which means neutralizing all active suspects by lethal or non-lethal means. You move throughout the level, clearing out rooms and securing evidence, including detaining civilians. Once all suspects have been detained, the mission is clear. However, you still have to go and secure the evidence for score on the level. You can order your own AI, if you're in single player, to go find evidence and they'll go around the level and pick up things. If you are in multiplayer, you're shit out of luck. You will have to individually go back in each single room and check every corner, nook, and cranny to find a gun or cocaine or some type of evidence. You may also have to do side objectives, such as search for a specific civilian in a level. The level that comes to mind is the gas station. Your very first level, you have to find a civilian hiding in a corner. They will always be there, they never move. But if it is your first time playing that level, after you have neutralized all the suspects, you will be looking around for a good bit trying to find this civilian. If this happens to you, which you probably will at some point in the game, you will probably be spending at least 10 minutes looking in each room to find what you are trying to achieve. Another good example of this would be the meth house, where you will be trying to find some meth in that massive level on 2 different stories with many, many doors, and even a cave where you will be spending so much time trying to find an objective so that you can actually leave the level. Your AI is no help on side objectives. They won't find them. They won't even look for them. They can only pick up evidence. Moving on to the AI. Well, here we go. Your teammate AI is at best dumb, but exceptional crack shots when they want to be. They can shoot a dime from across the map, but at the same time will walk in front of open doorways and be shot in the side of their head and die. The suspect AI is cracked out of this world. They have made it so that it has basically the headless AI from Arma 3, where it can search 360 degrees, knows where the threat is, and will neutralize it before you can even see what is shooting at you, or before you even realize that you are in danger. You will be shot in the head and on the ground back to the restart mission of the game if you are in single player, okay? If you're in multiplayer, well, at least your other friends have a chance at completing the mission. So for single player, instantly dying out of nowhere is not a fun experience. To die from a random angle because an AI can see you through 1 pixel and headshot you from across the map is not fun. All this leads to, when in single player, is to tell your AI teammates to go ahead of you so that they can snapshot the snapshotting AI suspects. And hopefully your snapshotting AI will outshoot the snapshotting AI suspects. This leads to my rant about the AI. Your AI teammates, are dumb as bricks. They will constantly get in your way. They will do things that will get them killed. This is best and most egregious, especially on the later levels. When you get to the hotel, when you start getting to UPS Center, and even past that with the drug cartels, when you're on the cartel level going through a whole bunch of caves, the AI is programmed specifically to stop in certain points, or it will continue going. If at those later levels it is not coded correctly, AI cannot actually stack up on doors if the door is not perfectly level. They just can't do it. They also bug out a whole bunch of times when you give them orders. You'll have to give them orders 10 times, and maybe they will do it. They will more than likely go into a room, clear everything, and by that I mean go into different sections of the room that you have not told them to go into. And if it's a really big room that you have just opened, they will bypass open doorways, get shot in the side, and instantly die. I have seen my own SWAT team open a door, go into 4 different directions, and each one of them die because they don't clear the open doorway, or they don't stop when there is an open doorway or a window or something that is very dangerous. They will just blaze on through, and if either they die or the suspects are all dying. They will also shoot civilians, which messes up all of what you were trying to do. They will full auto civilians, they will full auto suspects and accidentally hit civilians, they will do random things. Your AI teammate is dumb as bricks. This is a massive improvement over what they were before Ready or Not 1.0, but because it was untested and pushed out the door, in my opinion, they did not test any of what they were doing for 1.0 with the community that they already had in early access. It's been a year, 1 year. They could have tested some of these things. They didn't, and they shipped it out. And the AI is a mess. It is a mess. Especially your AI teammates. This also includes one of the things that is in missions where your AI, in single player, you have to manage your AI stress, okay? When you are doing this, they are so stupid that if somebody dies or if you take a casualty, the AI will go into, I can't do this job. Okay, this is more of a gameplay thing than a real AI thing, but the system where you have to actually care about your own AI teammates when they all look like generic guy number 5 and they get stressed out and then they leave, the only way to fix that, the only way to really do it is to play a very specific way, which is only less than lethal. And then you can keep your retarded AI teammates with you, and you can care about generic guy number 4, I guess. Other than that, that whole system where they threw in the officer emotions with the psychologist is a last-minute addition to the game that I have not seen in a very long time, where they threw that in there at the very last minute to say that they were doing it, and it is a system that is broken. You don't even have to have anybody on the team that you are running with that system. They can all just be empty slots, and you'll come up with, and then when you spawn into the level, you'll just have 4 random AIs assigned to you. So that whole system is terrible. Moving on to Suspect AI. Suspect AI is bad for different reasons. Mostly because they are tuned up so far above what they were in early access. There was a point when Ready or Not came out in early access, probably 2 or 3 years ago when I played it, where you would spawn into a level and the AI would just snap shoot you in the face, okay? We, the community, told the developers you needed to tone this down, and they did. And Ready or Not was getting better, okay? The AI was not snap shooting you across the map or snap shooting you as soon as you enter a door and instantly dying, right? This was toned down, and it was at a moderate level to where it could be fun, and the AI would shoot around you to, simulate that they were aiming, but not instantly headshot you. But it seems that they have thrown all of that out and added back in the instant snap shooting of the AI, so where they will instantly kill you if you do really anything. It doesn't even have to be the wrong thing. If you're doing the right thing, you will even still get shot in the face. Which is just not a fun gameplay experience unless you like sitting behind a shield and having your own AI teammates go ahead of you to kill all of them. It can be fun if you want to run a 5-man team or a 10-man team and just see how fast everyone can die, but past that, it's not a fun experience with Suspect AI, or just the AI in general for both your teammates and suspects. Multiplayer in Ready or Not is good. It can be great if you are playing with friends or a whole team. The main difference between single player and multiplayer is that you will not have any AI teammates to ruin your experience, just regular old human beings that will do that. This means that you can clear levels a lot easier if you're running a 5-man team or more with mods. You can have technically as many as you want with mods. Some probably above 10 will break the game a little bit, but that's up to you. This is probably where you have seen the most fun with the game, is going to be in multiplayer. With friends, where you have seen countless YouTube videos of people playing with friends or whole groups or like 8-man teams, 10-man teams. However, once you have completed the 18 different levels, there is not much else to do. There is no PvP, there is no scenario customizer. Like there was earlier in Ready or Not, where you could have bomb threats or active shooters to change the levels up. There is none of that. There is only barricaded suspect. That kind of leaves you out of anything to do with the content that is provided to you by Ready or Not. However, mods can solve some of these issues. One of the most popular mods in Ready or Not currently is the customization mod. That should tell you something of what people actually think of trying to get S ranks on every single mission by doing a non-lethal run, where you have to use a lot of exploits to actually get the S ranks, so that you can unlock the tattoos. I can't fathom somebody trying to do all S ranks. It would be brutal and torturous to do so. The second most popular mod, the one that lets you have more than 5 people in your lobby, realistically up to 10 people or as many as you want with some lag, that is the second most popular mod and probably might even be the most popular mod by now, considering it's been about a month since Ready or Not came out and people want to have more people and try out different levels. Other than that, Ready or Not supporting mods is a very good thing that allows you to change the game by adding new weapons and new maps, can make the game's long-term health better. However, this has to be stated, because the maps are made by non-developers, this is not a dig at people, by the way, because they are made by the non-devs, they do not have access to the AI-specific coding for each level. It means that there is a higher likelihood of the AI having a mental breakdown, specifically your own teammates. The suspect AI should relatively be fine. It's your own teammate AI that's going to have a mental breakdown and fit. Because they were not programmed for that specific level, for example, because maybe a doorway isn't level, it's slightly lower, your teammates are going to have a very hard time actually doing anything with that doorway. They probably won't even be able to breach the doorway because it wasn't designed for their own pathing. Overall, I would say that Ready or Not 1.0 came out of the oven too early and with not enough content to sustain it for more than a month or two of play. For single player, this is where Ready or Not falls hard on its face, releasing an untested and new and improved AI teammate system for 1.0 where the AI is significantly better than it was before, but having some of the same old problems it did before, and introducing a whole boatload of new ones, especially in later levels. Not to mention how broken the AI customization was at the beginning of the game, where you couldn't even change their loadouts. It just feels like a big letdown for the people that supported this game for a little under a year with no updates from January 19th, 2023 until the release of 1.0 on December 13th. This means that overall, I cannot give Ready or Not more than a 5 out of 10. An average game, that is not a trash game, that is not even below average, that is the average level. An average game for people who are looking for a single-player tactical shooter experience. For the multiplayer, this is slightly different. In bigger groups, with human friends or tactical groups, this is where the game shines. When you are playing for the first time on each of the 18 different levels with your big group, it is one of the most immersive experiences in a tactical shooter that you can get. I would give it a rating if you and 4 other of your friends would be willing to buy it for Ready or Not 1.0, an 8 out of 10. It is a great multiplayer experience that you will not forget. However, this leads me to the average Joe, who has maybe 1 or 2 friends that would be willing to buy this game, or a person that's going to play it in single player. This is where I'm going to have to rate Ready or Not a 6.5. I can't realistically give it a better score than that, especially the state that it's in with 1.0. If you are a guy and you have 1 or 2 friends, because you can't have AI teammates and friends, you're going to have to choose one or the other, or play with a whole bunch of random people that may shoot you in missions and just ruin your experience like that. And I've already told you that single player is at best an average experience. So a 6.5 in my opinion is not a bad ranking. That is again slightly above average. That's toting on the line of going into a good game. If you do in fact have 4 other friends that are willing to play this game with you, this instantly goes to like an 8 out of 10 game that you won't regret if you all actually play it for that long. So that's just been my review of Ready or Not 1.0. I hope you all have a nice day, and do check back on this game in a few months. The developers have stated that they will be rolling out some new updates, which may or may not improve Ready or Not. It probably will. But for the 1.0, the game that is out right now, the final rating is a 6.5 out of 10.